Welcome to the Fact of Fiction 2 and 3 study video, focusing on conflict and plot. Fact of Fiction number 2 is character motivation. And this is where the main character has certain wants and desires, but someone or something stands in his or her way. This is what is called the conflict in the story. So what is conflict? Conflict is essentially the struggle between two forces in a story. Here we have Mr. Incredible and Syndrome, two different people in conflict. There are 6 types of conflict that can be found in a story. The first is person versus self, which is an internal conflict where the character might have low self-esteem or dealing with an internal issue. Next is person versus person, where it's 2 people or 2 beings going against each other. Next is person versus society, where the main character is up against the government or what have you, such as in the Hunger Games. Next is person versus nature. That's usually your natural disaster kind of stories. Like I gave the example of Sharknado in class, so I'm going to go with that one again. Next is person versus machine, and that is where the character is in conflict with technology in some way. So if you think about your iRobot, Terminator movies, that is a classic example of person versus machine. And then last is person versus supernatural, and that is where they're going up against ghosts, aliens, monsters, etc. And those are different types of conflict. And within a story, you need to have conflict because that puts the character on their journey. And the character journey is, this is where the main character goes on a journey to get what he or she wants and faces obstacles based on his or her decisions. Now remember, it doesn't actually have to be a physical journey where they get in a car and they drive someplace. It can be an emotional story. The journey, though, is what creates the plot of the story. So what is plot? Plot is the literary element that describes the structure of the story, the beginning, middle, and end. It shows the arrangements of events and actions within a story. And the way we do that is by creating a plot pyramid. So let's break the plot pyramid down. Here we have our lovely plot pyramid. At the beginning, we have our exposition, which is the start of the story. It's the situation before the action really gets going. We learn a little bit about the world that the character lives in, and we learn a little bit about the character themselves. Next, we have the rising action, which is a series of conflicts that lead up to the climax. So there will be some obstacles that the character faces on his or her way to the turning point, which is the climax, and that's usually the most intense moment for the character. It doesn't necessarily have to be a big moment. It could be something very small as a simple choice. After that choice, there is the falling action, which is essentially everything that occurs after the climax. And last, we have our resolution, and that is the conclusion of the story, the tying together of all the threads. If there's more than one plot, a plot A, plot B, they try to wrap it all up together. Every story can be graphed along the plot pyramid. If it can't, then it's not a proper story. So what I would like you to do is watch a TV show and or movie and create a plot pyramid of the story. Good luck!